Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a fabulous Wednesday. We are having a good day here at the Langston House. A busy day, a busy week. It's kind of one of those weeks where I knew that is too much. I knew that is too much when I planned it. And then when it happened, I'm like, yes, that is way too much. We have too much going on this week, but that's okay. We're getting it all done. So today I'd like to talk about the favorite book that I have that I'm reading this week. My favorite is from Brene Brown. And Brene's Brown book is about braving the wilderness. She has a few different books, but the one I'm reading right now is about braving the wilderness. It's about the quest for true belonging and courage, and the courage to stand alone. So I found that I really enjoyed this book and reading it because I found myself standing alone recently, and I've stood alone in the past too, but more so recently. And she talks about how standing alone takes courage, right? Because it's easier to be with a group because then, well, you're liked a little bit more, right? Because people don't see if you conform with everything, you just agree with everything, right? So standing alone is a little bit harder. I stand alone on a few different things right now, as well as I've also stood alone in the past too when somebody comes up to me and they want to know my opinion about somebody. And I know that they want gossip, and I don't want to be part of that. So they are telling me about this person, and it's happened a few different times, but like this person, this and this and this, and I'm like, oh, they're really good at this trait. And did you see how they managed this situation? Like, oh, that was pretty good. Like, they're very good at thinking in this context or things like that, which I feel can be a situation where I'm standing alone, because when people want to gossip, that's what they want to do. They don't really want to be misdirected. It can actually make people mad. And I'm not out to make people mad, but so I know that's someplace else that I felt like I've stood alone before. The other thing she talks about is how people tend to ignore the exceptions. So we make assumptions or rules and about different groups, like could be different groups of people, religion, age groups, places people are from, like all these different groups that people make assumptions about. Yet in our personal lives, we often find people say we assume this group over here is mean and harsh, yet we have this one friend who is with this group, but they're actually really nice and they're super helpful and supportive, but they're the exception. And she's talking about how oftentimes in our lives we ignore that exception, and then just keep our assumptions. So she was talking about the power of not ignoring the exceptions to the rule, and the power of taking time to build local connections and local friend group and a local support system, which is really fun and interesting to listen to, because that's exactly what we're talking about in my Facebook group. So if you want to join, you can. The link is below my profile. If not, that's totally cool too. But I am 90% done with the book. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. And so far, the takeaway has been that true belonging is, I have it written down here quick. The true belonging is the ability to be truly yourself and stand in your beliefs, even in some opposition, right? And to embrace those around you being vulnerable and open. And when you're being vulnerable and open and sharing openly, it also opens you up to deeper hurts, but then in return opens you up to deeper friendship as well. So if you are in the market for a good book, check it out, Brene Brown. I'm listening to her audiobook. I've also listened to her book about daring to lead too, which is a good one. She's a researcher, so she brings a lot of research into her books and a lot of statistics and stuff like that. So if you like to dive into those things, you might find it interesting. So we are headed to swimming lessons now. Hugo had a dentist appointment, and now I'm stopped at the house to do the live, and then Hugo Ellen and I are off to swimming lessons to meet Jada there. So we're going to continue on with our day, and I hope you guys have a fabulous